Hey everybody, RPG here. Today I'm going to show you guys how to set up Retroarch on your Anbernic RG552 handheld video game console. Now, just fair warning, this is not going to be a quick setup video. This is going to be pretty extensive. It's going to take quite a bit of time, so get ready. But I promise you, in the end, you're going to end up with a system that works really nicely. So let's jump into it. Alright, so here we are on the Anbernic RG552 handheld video game console, and I just inserted in my SD card for the Android side into slot number 2 on here. Nothing is in slot number 1. So first thing that we're going to do today to get Retroarch set up is obviously open it up. So we're going to go down here, navigate down to Retroarch, click on it, and let it load in. So now my Retroarch here may look different than yours. So, obviously I have a background on here, but other than that, it should be the same. And the interesting thing about Retroarch is, depending on what version you have, you may not necessarily have the same as what I have on here, so your settings may be totally different by default. So don't go off of that. We're going to just walk through from start to finish what you want to change things to. So don't worry so much with what the settings are currently. Just worry about changing things and making sure that everything lines up with what I'm going to show you here in this video. So we're going to go over to the settings column, which is the second column over, and we are going to navigate to drivers, which is going to be our first option here at the top. We are going to go down to menu, and we are going to make sure that this is set to XMB, which in my case, it's already been set to that. If it's not, it's on one of these, then just make sure that you select XMB, and you'll notice that here next to menu, it says XMB. That's how you need to confirm that you have the right setting. From here, we're going to back out one page, and we're going to navigate over to the first column here, and we're going to go over to configuration file. We'll select this, and we are going to save current configuration. So you'll get a little confirmation in the bottom left corner. And now what we can do is we can back out once again, and we're going to go down here and quit Retroarch. That's going to bring us back out to our main page here. Now we're going to go back into Retroarch once again. And now what I recommend doing is going into settings again. And we're going to go down to directory, which is towards the bottom. Actually, it is the last option here. And we're going to go to System BIOS, which is our top option right here. We're going to select that. And we're going to change this to storage. So we're going to go down here to the third option down, which says storage. We are going to select the option that says 1BF8-231B. And then we're going to go into Retroarch. So we just have to scroll down. We're going to select Retroarch here, and next thing we're going to do is we're going to go down to System. We're going to select System right here, and we're going to hit Use This Directory. So now we can just confirm that it matches up Retroarch/System, and that is exactly what we want here for System/BIOS. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go down to Dynamic Backgrounds. We're going to select this option, and now every time I'm selecting, you can either tap on screen because this is fully touchscreen, or you can just hit your A button on your actual handheld here. So for dynamic backgrounds, we're going to go down to storage, third option down yet again. From here, we're going to go to that same option, that 1BF8-231B. We're going to select that option. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go over to wallpaper in here. So we just have to scroll all the way down to the end, select wallpaper, and then we are going to hit Use This Directory. So again, it's going to match up as /storage/1BF8-231B/wallpaper. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to drop down to thumbnails. Next option down, we're going to select this option. We are going to go into the third option down, storage. Now we are going to go to the same one, 1BF8-231B. Select it. And now we are going to go into Retroarch, so we'll scroll almost all the way down, select Retroarch. Now we are going to scroll down and select thumbnails. And now we are going to select Use This Directory. And again, we're going to make sure that it reads /storage/1BF8-231B/Retroarch/thumbnails. Next thing we are going to do from here is we're going to go down to cheat files. This one is a few options down. We're going to select cheat files. We're going to go into storage yet again. We're going to go into that 1BF8-231B. We are going to go into Retroarch. And we are going to go into cheats. And we're going to select Use This Directory. We're going to double check, make sure everything lines up there, ending in /cheats, and that is good there. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go down to overlays. About 3 or 4 options down, we're going to select overlays, select storage, select 1BF8-231B, select that, and now we are going to go down to overlays here. Select overlays, I went down one too far, and use this directory. So /storage /1BF8-231B/overlays. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to go down to screenshots. Not the next option, but the one after that. And we are going to select this, select storage, select 1BF8-231B, and now we are going to select Retroarch again. So almost all the way down. Select Retroarch, and then we are going to select screenshots right here and use this directory. Next one we're going to do, and this should be the last one we're going to do here, we are going to go down to playlists. 3 options down from there, we're going to select storage. We're going to select 1BF8-231B, and then we're going to hit Retroarch again, and we are going to hit playlists and use this directory, and there we go. That is the last option we need to do within this section. So now what we're going to do here is we are going to back out. So I'm just going to hit my B button to back out. We are going to go up from settings here. Oops, went over too far. We can actually just loop around, and we're going to go into input. Now we're going to go into port 1 controls. Once in port 1 controls, we're going to set our device type to RetroPad. So that's our first option here. For me, it's already been set as RetroPad, but if it's been selected as none or RetroPad with analog, just move it over to RetroPad, hit your A button, and you are good to go there. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to map all of our controls. So we need to go down here, and you're going to see a list of all of our functions here, starting with D-pad up. And what I want you to focus on here is the diagram to the left here, not so much the labeling. The labeling seems to be pretty much on point, but just to be safe, you want to go off of the diagram there. So we're going to select the first option, which is D-pad up with our A button, and then we are going to hold down D-pad up. So we'll hold down D-pad up here. Next thing we're going to do is D-pad down, select it with A, hold D-pad down. Now, all of mine have actually been set up already, but I'm going to walk through this with you because yours may already be set up by default, or they may not be. Always good to just go through this and make sure that you follow it to the T and get everything set up 100%. You may just glance at it, think that it's all set, and then find out later that something's incorrect. So it's always good to just give it a once over and be 100%. So select A, D-pad left, I'm holding down D-pad left. Same thing, D-pad right, hold down D-pad right. Now A button, I'm going to hold down the A button, select the B button, hold down the B button. X button, we're going to select it with A, hold down the X button, and you notice that nothing is changing here when I assign these. Hold down the Y button, but again, better to be safe than sorry. Select A, hold down the select button now. Same thing with start. A, hold down the start button. A, hold down the left shoulder button, down, select this one, hold down the R shoulder button. Now we're going to do the triggers. Left trigger, right trigger. Left thumb, so L3 is going to be your analog stick, just hitting the button. And I actually recommend doing this with 2 fingers and just kind of holding it on both sides because you don't want to accidentally roll off in one direction. It will mess things up. So now the right side. And now we're going to do our left analog. So we're going to hold it. Oop, I messed that one up. I got to do it again. Slid right off it like I was just talking about. In this case, it doesn't make a difference, but always want to be safe. Left analog down, holding it. Left analog left, hold it left. Left analog right, hold it right. right analog up, right analog down, right analog left, and right analog right. Cool. All right, so that is everything. Now, gun trigger here, you don't have to do anything with the gun triggers. These are typically used for like a light gun if you are doing it that way. So in this case, we're just going to ignore it here. Mine says mouse 1 there for gun trigger. I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to actually change that at all. I never set that up. That's just the default thing here. That's everything we need to do here. So I'm going to hit the B button and back out. Now I'm going to go up to menu controls here. I'm still within input. Just going to select menu controls. Next thing we're going to do is we want to make sure that we disable menu swap OK and cancel buttons. So we're going to disable this. So I just disabled that now. So you want that toggle to be all the way over to the left. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to back out and we are going to go down to hotkeys, which is the next option down. We're going to select hotkeys. And if you actually change that last option, you may notice now that your A and B buttons are flipped. So just make note of that. Sometimes it changes, sometimes it doesn't. It just depends on what your default settings were before. So now that we are in our hotkeys option here, within inputs, we are going to go down to where it says hotkey enable. And we are going to select it, and we're going to hold down our select button. And it should say 109, which is what it said for me originally. It didn't actually change in this case. And now we're going to go down to fast forward, which is right here, fast forward, toggle in parentheses there. And we're going to set this to R2. So that's going to be our right trigger button. So we're going to select it and then hold down R2. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go down to slow motion toggle right here. We're going to select it. And we're going to assign this to our left analog down. So I'm going to hold left analog down. Next thing we are going to do is we're going to go to load state. 2 options down. We're going to select load state and we're going to set it to L1. So it's going to be our left shoulder button. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go down to save state. This one we're going to assign as R1, so our right shoulder button. Now we're going to go down to quit RetroArch. We're going to select this option and we're going to assign this as our start button. Now we're going to go down to rewind, which is 3 options down, and we're going to set this as our left trigger button. Now we're going to go down to where it says show FPS toggle right here. And we're going to assign this as our Y button. So we're going to select it with A, hold down the Y button for a couple seconds, and we are good to go there. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to scroll down quite a ways to the menu toggle option. So that's right here. We are going to select the menu toggle option with A, and we're going to assign this to our X button. So I'm going to hold down my X button now. So now we can back out of this page entirely. We're going to back out once again so we're no longer in input. And we are going to go down to user interface. We're going to select this with A. And we're going to go with that top option which says menu item visibility. We're going to select it with A. So now in here we're going to make some changes. And again, these may actually make changes on screen for you, or you may already have these in effect currently. It all depends on what is pre-configured on your setup. So we are going to go down to where it says show explore. And we want to make sure that this is toggled off. In this case, it's already off for me. Make sure that that toggle is all the way to the left-hand side. Next, we're going to go down to show images. 3 options down. Make sure that this is off all the way to the left. In this case, for me, it is already turned off. Now we're going to go show music directly below that. Make sure this is off all the way to the left. Next thing is show net play. Make sure this is turned off as well, all the way to the left. And we're going to go down now to show import content. Make sure that this is off, again, toggle all the way to the left. Now we can back out, and we're going to go down to Appearance, which is the second option down. And we're going to go to Menu Scale Factor, which is the first option there. We want to change this to 0.95x. I already have it changed here. Just make sure that you select it and make that adjustment. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go down to Background Image. We are going to set this to GPI-1001. So I'll do this with you guys because mine's already been changed. So we'll select this option. We'll go into Storage. Next thing we're going to do is 1BF8-231B, similar to what we did before. And we are going to go down to Background Images. We're going to select this option. And we're going to go and select GPI-1001, which is right here, should be the top option. This is where you're going to get this difference in the background. Next thing we're going to do is Background Opacity. Next option down, or two options down rather. And we are going to change this to 0.500. I already have it changed. You can make this adjustment with your D-pad just going left or right. After you've set this to 0.500, we are going to now go to Menu Color Theme. So this is down right here. And we're going to change this to dark. So you can select this. There's a bunch of different options. I'm going to go with dark. Now we can back out with B button. And we're going to go down to Show Advanced Settings, which is two options down. We want to make sure that this is turned on. So your toggle is going to be all the way to the right-hand side. Mine is already turned on, so I don't need to make any changes there. If yours is off, just hit the A button. It's going to flip it right on for you. Now we're going to hit B. And we're going to actually go over to that first column. We're going to go down to Configuration File. We're going to select it with our A button, and we are going to save current configuration. Once that is saved, you get a little confirmation in the bottom right corner. We're going to hit the B button to back out, and we're going to quit Retroarch. This brings us back to our main page here. Now we're going to go right back into Retroarch. You need to exit it though, just to make sure everything is saved correctly. We are going to go over to that second column, which is Settings again. And we are going to go down to Saving. We're going to select Saving with A. So once we're into saving, we're going to go down to the option which reads Sort Saves into Folders by Content Directory. And we're going to make sure that we turn this on. So you want your toggle all the way to the right. So if it's turned off, just hit the A button. It's going to flip it to the right. Next option is we're going to go down to Sort Save States by Content Directory. This is the next option down. Go ahead and turn this on as well. So select A if it's off. Make sure that toggle is all the way to the right. Now we're going to back out. We are going to go down to Frame Throttle. So three options down, select it with A. We're going to go into Rewind, which is our top option here. And we are going to toggle on Rewind Support. So I already have it on. Again, you want that toggle all the way to the right-hand side. I have that here already set up, so just make sure that it's all the way to the right. And now we want to change these settings below. We want to change them to the first option for rewind frames is going to be set to 10. Next option is going to be set to 40, and the following option is going to be set to 10 as well. So the numbers should read 10, 40, 10 from top to bottom. We are going to hit the back button now, and we are going to go into fast forward rate. Fast forward rate we want set to 3.0x. I already have that set up here. You can make adjustments. Next thing is slow motion rate. Slow motion rate here, again, we want it set the same way, 3.0x. I already have it set up on my end here as it is. So we can back out now. Now we're going to go to on-screen display. Next option down, select it with A. And we are going to jump into on-screen overlay, the top option. And we want display overlay to be toggled on. So here it's all the way to the right, so it's already turned on for me. Make sure it's turned on for you. And now we're going to go to set overlay opacity, which is all the way at the bottom. And we want to make sure that this is on 0.85. Again, for me, it's already been set up that way. just make sure you make that adjustment. It's probably around 70 or so, I think, is what the default typically is. So just make sure that you go in here and you make that adjustment so it reads as 0.85. We're going to back out now. Back out once again and navigate over to that first column, and we want to go to Online Updater. We're going to select that, and we want to go to the bottom where it says On-Demand Thumbnail Downloads, and we want to make sure this is toggled to off. So it's going to be all the way to the left hand side. I have that set up here already. Just make sure this is off, not on. Now we want to back out with B, and we want to go down to Configuration File. We're going to select this, and we are going to save current configuration. We're going to get that confirmation in the bottom right corner, or bottom left corner, excuse me. And now we want to hit B to back out, and now quit RetroArch. This is going to bring us back to our main page again. Now we're going to go right back into RetroArch once again, and we're going to go to our Online Updater here on the main menu. And we're going to go down to Core Downloader, which is actually our first option at the top. It's going to fetch our core list, and I'm going to read off the different cores that we want to make sure that we download here. Now you're going to notice I have hashtags here on some of these lines. These are the lines that you want to go in and download. I've already downloaded them here on my end because I went through this and tested everything out. You're going to want to do the same thing here and just follow my lead. So I'm going to actually read these off to you, and I'll scroll down to them as I do so. First option, we want Amstrad CPC /GX 4000, and that's going to say Caprise 32 in parentheses. If you select A, it's going to download and extract, and you're going to get that hashtag next to the line as it downloads. Each one takes a matter of just a couple seconds. Next option is Arcade FB Alpha 2012 Neo Geo in parentheses. Go ahead and hit A. Next option, Arcade FB Alpha 2012 in parentheses. Hit A. Next option, Arcade FinalBurn Neo in parentheses. Hit A. Next option, Arcade Mame 2003-Plus in parentheses. Hit A. Next option, Atari-2600 Stella in parentheses, hit A. Atari 7800 Prosystem in parentheses, hit A. Atari-Jaguar Virtual Jaguar in parentheses, hit A. Atari-Lynx Handy in parentheses, hit A. Bandai WonderSwan /color Beetle Cygne in parentheses, hit A. Next one, Cannonball, hit A. Cave Story, hit A. Now we got a little break here. Dinothawr, we're going to hit A. Doom, PrBoom in parentheses, hit A. Flashback REminiscence in parentheses, hit A. GCE-Vectrex vecx in parentheses, hit A. Handheld Electronic GW in parentheses, hit A. Magnavox Odyssey 2, go ahead and hit A. Mattel Intellivision, hit A. Microsoft MSX FMSX in parentheses, hit A. Mr. Boom Bomberman in parentheses, hit A. MSX SVI-ColecoVision SG-1000 Blue MSX in parentheses, hit A. NEC-PC Engine /CD Beetle PCE Fast in parentheses, hit A. NEC-PC Engine Super Graphics Beetle Super Graphics in parentheses, hit A. NEC-PC-FX Beetle PC-FX, hit A. Nintendo-Game Boy /Color Gambit in parentheses, hit A. Nintendo-Game Boy Advance MGBA in parentheses, hit A. Nintendo-NES/Famicom, FCEUMM in parentheses, hit A. Nintendo-NES/Famicom, Nestopia UE in parentheses, hit A. Nintendo 64, Mupen 64 Plus -NEXT GLE S2 in parentheses, go ahead and hit A. Nintendo 64 Mupen 64 Plus -NEX GLE S3, go ahead and hit A. Nintendo 64 Parallel N64 in parentheses, hit A. Nintendo Pokemon Mini, Poke Mini in parentheses, hit A. Coming down home stretch here. Nintendo SNES/SFC, go ahead and hit A. Nintendo SNES/SFC SNES 9X 2005 Plus, hit A. Nintendo SNES/SFC SNES 9X 2005, hit A. Nintendo SNES/SFC SNES 9X 2010, hit A. Nintendo Virtual Boy Beetle VB, hit A. Pico 8 Retro 8 in parentheses, hit A. Now we're going to do Quake 1 and Quake 2. Quake 2 is going to be the Vita Quake 2 in parentheses, hit A for both of those. Now Rick Dangerous, hit A. RPG Maker 2000/2003 Easy RPG, hit A. Scum VM, hit A. Sega Dreamcast/Naomi Flycast in parentheses, hit A. Sega-MS/GG/MD/CD Genesis Plus GX Wide in parentheses, hit A. Sega MS/GG/MD/CD Genesis Plus GX, hit A. Sega-MS/GG/MD/CD/32X Pico Drive in parentheses, hit A. Sega-MS/GG/CG-1000 Gear System in parentheses, hit A. Sega-Saturn Yaba Senshiro in parentheses, hit A. Sharp-X 68000 PX68K in parentheses, hit A. Sinclair-ZX Spectrum Fuse in parentheses, hit A. SNK-Neo Geo Pocket/Color Race in parentheses, hit A. Sony-PlayStation PCSX Rearmed in parentheses, hit A. Sony-PlayStation Portable PPSSPP in parentheses, hit A. The 3Do Company -3Do Opera in parentheses, hit A. Last one, Wolfenstein 3D EC Wolf in parentheses, hit A. Now I'm going to put a whole list of all these in the description of this video just to make it easier, because I kind of ran through this quick and I'm sure this can be super confusing given the fact that you do have to wait for each of these to download. So if I'm going too fast for you or if it's confusing to you, reference the description of this video. I'm going to list everything out for you guys, so it's super easy to reference that way. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hit our B button to back out, and we are going to navigate down to Update Installed Cores, which is right here. We're going to select A. It's going to fetch everything and update really quickly. Super easy process here, only takes a couple seconds or so. And you get a confirmation in the bottom left corner. Once that's complete, next thing we want to do is we want to do Update Core Info Files. And that's about 4 or 5 options down. Update Core Info Files, select A. It's going to do the same thing. This one's a little bit quicker. It's going to extract that once it's downloaded. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do Update Assets. This is the next option down. Go ahead and select A. It's going to download this one. This one takes a little bit longer. And once you get that confirmation in the bottom left corner, now it's time to update controller profiles. Next option down, go ahead and select A. Quick one. Next thing we'll do is we'll update databases, which is 2 options down. select A. It's going to download this one. Once that's done, we are going to go down to Update Overlays. Next option down, select A. It's going to download this as well. Should go fairly quickly. Once we have that confirmation, we are going to do Update GLSL Shaders. Next option down, select A. Once you have that confirmation in the bottom left corner, we are going to hit our B button to back out, and we are going to go down to Quit Retroarch. This is going to exit us. Now the next part is going to be outside of Retroarch, and I recommend going into your settings. So we're going to go over, for me it's right next to Retroarch. It's going to have the purple background here, so just click on Settings. Now we're going to go down to Storage. We're going to select Storage here. We're going to go to our Portable Storage SD. We're going to go to our Download folder. And we're going to go to our Favorites file here, which is the first file. We're going to actually hold this down so it gives us that little green check icon there. We're going to click on the three dots in the top right corner. And we are going to hit Copy To. And now what we're going to do is we're going to navigate over to our internal storage, which is going to be the top option there. And we are going to copy the file to this location. So we're just going to go to the bottom right corner and hit Copy there. And it says Copying One File. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this little square icon. I'm going to just actually not minimize, but I'm going to get rid of all of my windows, and I'm going to go back into my settings now. Now we're going to go back into storage again. We're going to go into our internal storage now. And we are going to go down to the bottom where it says Explore. We're going to go into Retroarch. And we're going to go into Config. So now this should be empty. If you have anything in here, you can just highlight it. Just hold down on top of it and go to the top right corner where you have those three buttons, and in there you should be able to delete it, or you might even get like a trash icon up there. You want this to be completely empty as it is right here. So that's all we need to do here. We're going to close this out now so we can just pull up from the bottom of our screen, exit those completely, and we're going to go right back into settings. We're going to go into storage yet again. We're going to go into our SD card. We're going to go into our config file. And we are going to hit our top right corner where we have those three buttons. And we're going to highlight just one of these so it gets a check mark on there. And then we can actually go up to those three buttons up there in the top right corner and hit select all. Now you can see that each one of these folders has a green check mark on it. And what we're going to do at this point is, oh, my battery's dying, is we are going to go back over here to the top right corner, those three buttons, and we're going to hit Copy To. And now we're going to go to our internal storage. We're going to go into RetroArch here. We're going to go into Config, copy them all right here. So in the bottom right corner, just hit Copy. Boom, they all copy right in there. So now I have all of these in my internal storage as configs. I actually had one of those still in there from before, but yours is going to be completely empty. So now they're all going to populate in here for you, but they're going to still be downloading, and it should take you about 20-25 minutes or so for them to fully download. If you pull down from your progress bar, you should see that it says something about copying files in here. In this case here, it says 9 minutes left for me. I find that to be really inaccurate though. It does take a lot longer than 5 minutes to get that up and running. So don't worry too much about the time frame there. Just let everything do its thing. If you're low on battery like I am right now, just plug into your power source just to make sure that you don't run out of batteries and have everything die midway through copying all these folders over. All right, so everything has copied over. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump into RetroArch, but we are done messing around with these darn settings. We're going to jump in here and load some content. So we're going to drop down from the main menu here. So I'm on all the way to the left column. I'm going to go to load content, select it with A. I'm going to drop down to the regular storage one. I'm going to open up 1BF8-231B. And here we'll be able to access all of the ROMs that are installed on our game collection card here. So these are all the different collections available. So what would be a good one to jump into today? Let's go into Everybody Loves N64. You know what? Let's go into PlayStation. So we'll go into Sony PlayStation right here. And what is a good game to test out? We're going to just kind of jump through these real quick until something really jumps out at me. Love Gauntlet Legends, but I'm always in that game. Let's do... trying to find one that can be a little bit tricky under normal circumstances. Let's go into Mortal Kombat 4. And we're going to open up the PCSX Rearmed emulator here. And we should let this load in. Should take just a couple seconds. We got a nice bezel in here, which I like. We could always resize this too, so we are not stuck on that 4:3 aspect ratio. But sometimes this is a better way to actually play some of these games. Not necessarily this specific one, but we'll jump in here and test this game out a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to jump into just regular arcade, one-on-one combat. And who should we be? Alright, so if we want to exit this, we can hit our select and start at the same time. That's going to kick us all the way out of RetroArch altogether though. So now if we were to jump back in, we are back here at our main menu. Now if you wanted to just access RetroArch, so say you were in a game and you want to make some settings changes or adjust your picture, your aspect ratio, anything like that, you can hit select, which is your hotkey function, and X at the same time, and that's going to actually kick you back out to this menu over here. So that's always good to know, but that is going to do it for today in terms of setting up RetroArch here on the Anbernic RG552 handheld video game console. Alright, so as you can see from this video, super time consuming to go in here and make all your settings adjustments within RetroArch, but in the end you should have a system now that runs really flawlessly. So if you have any questions about any of the 100 steps or so in this video, feel free to hit me up in the comment section below. Always happy to help you guys out any way I possibly can. That's going to do it for today though. You know the drill. Smash the like button if you enjoyed the video and you found it helpful today. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay in the loop for all future videos here on the RetroPie YouTube channel. That's going to do it though. Thank you guys so much for watching.